Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best, you gotta show me son. Actions over words, baby boy, is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
WCS back on deck once again. You already know. Salute to the supporters, the ones that's in the building. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to you. Let's go over here and check it out. Michael Johnson Boxing talking more first in the building, man. What's good with it? But don't want to pay Francis. Shaking my head. So let's get right down to it. You know what I'm saying? We got big news, man. Changing the game any way, anyhow you want to look at it. Andrew Charles on deck. Any which way you want to look at it, it's huge. It's huge, y'all. I mean, it's just amazing to see these Paul brothers blossom into something that's much bigger than YouTube. Like the amount of avenues that they have created for themselves, the wealth that they have created from being goofy Vine stars on YouTube to what they've been able to transition over to is just amazing. And you know what? They brought along some people, or they collab with some people. This Prime Hydration Sports Drink, Logan Paul just signed a huge deal with his co-partner, KSI, who these two was the first to fight. You know, when the YouTubers came to the scene and fought in the boxing ring, it was Logan Paul and KSI. And these guys have collabed together for Prime Hydration Sports Drink and became the official sports drink of the UFC. And look, this is all the time that the Paul brothers was going back and forth with Dana White. I'm going to get to an article. Dion Washington, what's good? In the building, on deck with it. Salute to you. Big shout out to everyone that's on deck in the live chat. You already know what it is, man. One love to y'all. Thanks for supporting the channel. Hit the like button. So this is big news, man. Let's just take a gander. I mean, it's all over social media. It's incredible to see this take place the way it has, with them signing a huge deal like that. I'm pretty sure it's pretty healthy. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it's pretty healthy. Hold on for a second. They say Logan Paul signs big sponsorship deal with the UFC. All right. They said Logan Paul has evidently become one of the most popular celebrities in the world right now. That's crazy. This dude is global right now, dog. This is largely due to his massive fan base on YouTube, as well as his boxing career. Now, they lost me with boxing career. It ain't no way he's become a huge favorite for his boxing career, even though he did get Floyd Mayweather now. This dude has been doing it big now. He said, it goes on to say, his WWE career is also flourishing and adding to his overall stock. Now, listen, I haven't even got to his WWE career, but since they mentioned it, this dude has transitioned over to fight some of the biggest name superstars in the WWE, y'all. Listen to what I'm telling you. If you take what if you just was to embed yourself on what you see and read over here on YTC and put up with this closet funk, right? You will find yourself having a mental breakdown when it comes to looking up news. That's why you got to venture off into other places. This is crazy. These dudes over here making money while people over here on YTC just creating false soap operas. This dude is in the WWE jumping off the top rope, getting paid, fighting against the likes of Seth Rollins. Jesus Christ, man. These look, like I said before, I've been on record. I was criticizing these dudes and they came over here, but it changed my mind when I asked several fighters and they didn't give a damn. But those same people are not really contributing to boxing. They may have their own promotion, but they have did something way bigger than that. They have went to different avenues and been able to explode when it comes to their stock value. It goes on to say the Maverick has signed a huge sponsorship deal with the UFC. Dana White is known to be a very controversial figure when it comes to the proper payment of UFC stars. He was called out for this fact many times by the likes of Jake Paul, among others. In fact, due to the somewhat bitter relationship between White and Jake Paul, fans wondered whether the Paul brothers would ever work with the UFC president in the future. Logan Paul took his Twitter and officially announced that he has signed a huge sponsorship deal with the UFC. This is because the Sports Drink Prime is now officially affiliated with Dana White's company. That's unbelievable. That's crazy. This is crazy, man. This is groundbreaking. And let me get to Michael Johnson. Not Michael Johnson. Who said that? Okay, yeah, Michael Johnson boxing talk. Okay. If you speaking about Francis Ngannou, they was giving Francis Ngannou the biggest money he would have made, one of the wealthiest fighters. He would have been the top paid fighter, right? But Ngannou did not take the money because he was trying to basically advocate, in his words, for health care. He said the fighters don't have health care. So they pretty much run into issues where they can't get themselves fixed. They can't have they have no outlet or very limited funds, emergency funds, to go get themselves fixed and taken care of. Have that provided medical attention. It was a plethora of many things that caused Francis Ngannou just to leave the UFC. It wasn't just the money. He said it didn't matter about the money. He was more so talking about the well-being, the welfare of the fighters when it comes to providing them with more benefits. He said no amount of money will be able to do that, right? But then, this news break, Dana White has been on record as having a very contentious relationship with the Paul brothers. But, they always say, at the end of the day, they will do business with one another. They always say that. They say white people will always do business with each other. They'll find a way to make money together. If it's solid money, solid business, they'll find a way to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, look, they publicly ridicule this man. And Dana White don't play. Dana White been known to freaking blacklist cast somebody out, blacklist them from covering the UFC events, all that shit. But I guess Logan is doing so much outside of YouTube and the WWE, you know what I'm saying? On major events. He's in there wrestling. So he had to be at the camp. He's in the boxing arena. Man, these dudes is turned into something like a polymath when it comes to making this money. Jake is over here doing his thing with MVP, signing fighters, trying to step in the ring with Tommy Fury and everybody else that he made. And that may turn into Platinum Mike Perry. Man, these Paul brothers is doing crazy things out here. And for them to become an official sports drink of the UFC, they're gonna make so much money, millions, bro. I mean, come on. How difficult do you believe that it will be to get your sports drink and have it become the official face of the UFC? It's gonna be plastered on every cage. It's gonna be on every commercial. Man, it's gonna be freaking advertisement and promo and all that. That's gonna be bringing these dang Paul brothers revenue at KSI, bringing them revenue, bro. In the meantime, Jake Paul is still over here in boxing, you know, finding a way to make more money off boxing. This is insane. I'm not gonna lie, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but it's really some groundbreaking news because when it comes to boxing, these guys is doing it bigger than guys, that's been in boxing for quite some time. For them to make a deal like this, and they just YouTubers who started to make a little stink, to come into the ring, train a little bit, fight some football players, some over the hill, past their prime mixed martial artists, to finally get in there with a legend in Anderson Silva. And then you have Logan Paul, who was the main one at first. When Logan Paul came out and fought KSI, they did solid numbers over there on that fight card. And that was a real boxing card too. They did solid numbers. And then that's in the rearview mirror now. They have went on to expand their brand and become official face of the sports drink of the UFC. And he's over there at the WWE. I mean, like, I actually watched his match. I was impressed. I'm not gonna lie. Dude's over there taking risk. He's doing shit that the big boys are doing over there. That's crazy, man. Hey, I guess he was more athletic than I thought. I'm not gonna lie. I guess Logan Paul and Jake Paul was much more athletic than I thought, because as I look at Jake Paul doing what he's doing in the boxing ring, I'm over here looking at Logan Paul doing shit on primetime TV. Primetime TV, y'all. In one of the premier wrestling organizations in the world. In the world. And this dude is over here going through the choreography. I mean, actually look good wrestling, bro. Jumping off the top rope, just doing crazy shit, being a part of the whole storyline that they got over there in the WWE, doing everything. Man, it just makes you wonder, like, what are these cats thinking about? Like, yeah, you gotta expand, you gotta put your face out there. That's how some of these guys are gonna be in boxing. Is gonna be superstars, and it's not necessarily pertaining to their boxing career. It's all about what sponsorships you can get. Who can you be connected to? How can you put your face out there? That's what needs to be determined, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what needs to be determined. How can you expand the brand? Pop on deck, salute. He said Diaz is the only one that pissed Dana off and got away with it. Yeah, them Diaz brothers, they pissed him off because Dana wanted them names, though. They were still on the contract. So it didn't matter. Nate Diaz was still on the contract, so he could piss them off all he want. But Dana White is so petty, he didn't even release him from the contract until after his last fight. And they was trying to put the man in there with Hamzat Shemaev. They was trying to send that man in there to a suicide match, dog. and then they had to switch it up at the last minute. You know what I'm saying? They switched it up at the last minute, dog. Logan is a hell of an athlete. I agree, man. I gotta give him his props, Pop. Like Logan and Jake Paul is doing some big things in these sports. that fighters haven't even been able to do. And they really need to pay a close attention and try to link up and try to, find a way. I know they got to make the money first, but just try to get your foot in the door for something. It's so many it's so many avenues you can take to make extra money. You know what I'm saying? Like Teofimo Lopez, I always praise him for what he's getting signed up for Bud Light. That's real shit. He's with two premier sponsorships, Bud Light and Essential Water. How many people you see with Essential Water? A lot. A lot, y'all. How many people drink Bud Light? A lot. But he's sponsored. So that means he's going to get that money in between time. Whether he fight once a year, twice a year, 3 times, he's still going to get that money. He's still going to get that money. Shawn Michaels trained him for that match versus Roman. I'm pretty sure all the top-notch dudes. Shawn Michaels is a part of the training center over there. I mean, Shawn Michaels, that's the Heartbreak Kid. That's a legend. That's a legend, man. I grew up watching him when he used to be tag team. He used to be a part of this tag team. I grew up watching Shawn Michaels, man. Man, it's just crazy. People don't know how big it is. They don't want to pay attention to it because it's it's dealing with something that's not the normality, right? But this is changing. This is life changing. Why? Because the UFC continue to do big things. They continue to prove that they're willing and able to continue to bring exposure to their brand. And this is going viral. You know what I'm saying? This right here is absolutely going viral. It's going absolute viral, bro. Like, I can't imagine how much money. I'm really trying to find out from somebody on how long the deal is. I'm trying to get in close to somebody who covers and try to see how long this sports drink deal is actually for with the UFC. But they're gonna make millions. They're gonna make millions of dollars off this, man. This is theirs. You know what I'm saying? This is theirs, bro. Crazy. Logan had a 5-star match versus the best in the wrestling business. Yeah, man, they was jumping, up in the air off the ropes and all that. I was like, God damn, Logan picked up wrestling quick. Even though he was a wrestler, okay, he has a wrestling pedigree. That's a different type of wrestling. Your physical frame has to be durable enough to go in there and practice that shit. Anyway, Logan got a huge fan base with WWE, just like Floyd. Don't let that smoke go over your head. Floyd was in there. Floyd was in there for a cameo, okay, with the Big Show. All right, let's not get it twisted. Floyd wasn't in there doing what Logan was doing now. Floyd wasn't in there doing what Logan was doing. But guess what? How long has this been in play? Logan Paul getting a fight with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather being attached to the WWF back in the day, right? And somehow, some way, they might have been behind the scenes planning this. Who knows? Floyd might have arranged some of this stuff. He was back there in the day. He has one of the most memorable cameos over there, man. He hit Big Show with some brass knuckles. Broke his nose, man. You know what I'm saying? Who knows, that fight to give Logan Paul more exposure and everything like that. Then, you look back on how he said Floyd didn't pay him. I don't know how it all worked out. This might be all just a sham with all these publicity beefs that play out in front of people. But yet, all they doing is just putting free publicity out there, free promo. And then they shock the world by coming up with deals like this. Because it was well documented that the Paul brothers didn't like Dana White. They've been advocating for, his employees to get paid more money. It's been on record. It's been on record, bro. But good point, Pop. Good point. You know what I'm saying? For all of you that's tuned in, hit the like button. Why it's important to know this information? Because you're going to see these guys around. It's going to get to a point where when they walk in the building, it's kind of already like that. They walk in the building, people are going to try to rush over there to get autographs of these guys. because they're doing such big things as entrepreneurs, man. They're every freaking where. Like these guys are everywhere, man. They're not wanting for anything. They're getting paid crazy off their entrepreneurship, coming up ways to make money. I'm talking about big ways. People want to do business with them. You're going to see more and more boxers signed to MVP promotions. Look, listen to what I'm telling you. There's going to be more and more fighters signing to MVP promotions because of all the exposure that the Paul brothers may in fact start to become a legitimate contender amongst the promotions in about 5 to 6 years. It's a dirty game out there now. You know what I'm saying? As a promoter, not everybody can be a promoter. You have to be able to have that money to put up depending on where you're going to be at. Boxing is a cutthroat type of world. You got to give a little to get a little. You know what I'm saying? You got to give a little to get a little. So you ain't gonna just say, "Oh man, I have my fan base and all that." Nobody gives a damn. You remember when Eddie Hearn saying he was gonna come over here and he gave the impression that he was gonna take over? Mm-mm. You're not gonna do that with boxing. You have to make right with certain people and pay the toll across that bridge and make sure you don't burn it. You're gonna have to pay some people to see some people. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that's what's going on with the Paul brothers, man. How can the Paul brothers, who has criticized Dana White publicly, do business with him? Because it's millions in there, just like he allowed Conor McGregor to go over there and fight in boxing because Conor McGregor made millions. That's why Conor is able to come and go as he please and be slipping in through the damn cracks and crevices. You know what I'm saying? They barely was able to get the dude back. He's another one. He made them millions, dog. And not only that, Conor McGregor made the UFC millions, and he ended up getting a whiskey deal, a Proper 12. And his Proper 12 was freaking plastered all over, every freaking television screen you can imagine. And then he ended up selling that motherfucker for millions. He sold Proper 12 whiskey for millions, man. He don't need the UFC no more. They showing pictures of this man out on the yacht, with a girl that's not his wife, getting fellatio, dog. Man, they showing this man all around getting in trouble. Now a female say he assaulted her. Man, Conor living his motherfucking high life, dog. Just like the beer. He's living his high life. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep that slogan, man. He's living his high life, god damn it. And thing they have in common is that he made money. He made money for Dana White when he went over there and fought Floyd Mayweather. $100 pay-per-view. $100 ticket for pay-per-view. With no boxing, no professional boxing. He had an amateur. He was an amateur fighter a little bit. Then he decided to switch over professional to mixed martial arts. He wasn't the best. He started getting that recognition, exposure, and that spotlight when he joined the UFC. You know what I'm saying? And the rest is history. Legendary, bro. I know dudes that have never watched boxing in their lives, but know who Fury is because he did some wrestling shit. Wrestling got a huge fan base. It's crazy. It does, man. And look, I'm surprised Fury doesn't have any type of huge, like his own shit going on right now. But you're right. He did go over there and wrestle Braun Strowman. He did. You're right, Andrew. He went over there and wrestled Braun Strowman. I was like, damn, look at Tyson Fury, bro. Tyson Fury is over there making that wrestling money, like wrestlers before him, like boxers before him, like Tyson, freaking Floyd Mayweather, and several other fighters, several other athletes. Ronda Rousey made her, appearance over there before she actually started, becoming an employee. I mean, it's been many upon many, dog. Some of these boxers should just jump out their comfort zone and be able to present to the fans. They can be that crossover athlete. Because a lot of people don't know these boxers outside of boxing. Just like a lot of people don't know these mixed martial artists outside mixed martial arts. But if you're able to go out here and find a niche, find something that you can invest your money in and allow that money to work for you and to be able to receive residual income off that money, all the way up to the point where you get that exposure and people really start trying to request your appearance and all that, man, it's golden, bro. It's golden. And I gotta salute these cats. KSI, Logan Paul, man, this shit is crazy, bro. These dudes, they don't have to worry about anything. I mean, they had a huge YouTube fan base. KSI and Logan Paul is I'm pretty sure they have conversations all the time on the phone and what they can do with boxing, how they can expand. I'm pretty sure they talk to each other in that room with their team. You know, who would have thought KSI and Logan Paul, who came off as absolutely despising one another, that they would be up here signed to the UFC and I mean, come on now. Taking the social media fan base with them, signed a huge contract, and in the boxing ring. Man, they're not one for anything. They got that shit dialed in real nice. Real nice, bro. That's just wild, man. That's just wild, man. They living the high life right now. Floyd also got 20 million from WWE back then. No telling what Logan getting. Yeah, you know the pay scale has changed. You know the pay scale has changed since then. You know what I'm saying? The pay scale has changed. Not so much for boxing, but you know, maybe for other sports and entertainment. L Dog on deck, what's good? He said KSI and Logan need to save Showtime boxing. That's the whole plan. Look, check this out. Just check this out, L Dog, right? So everything that goes on here, right, with the YTC and the way boxing is talked about is nothing that's really being spoken on as far as making lucrative changes, you know, and everything, lucrative moves. I'm not saying they don't. It's people that's out there trying to make moves like the boxing voice. I know for a fact they out there doing their thing, trying to grow, right? But there's so much money out there to be made that when you mention something like this, KSI and Logan need to say Showtime. Well, guess what? They already signed Jake Paul. It's only more things to come with him. Not only have Jake Paul ventured into boxing there, L Dog, but also you're talking about a guy who's attempting, I don't think it's going to happen, attempting to fight the brother of the best heavyweight in the sport right now. Not just that now. This guy has just signed a deal with the PFL to be an influencer over there. These Paul brothers are becoming global superstars. You have Jake Paul, who's boxing and everything. You know, he just signed a lucrative deal with PFL, Professional Fight League MMA. He's planning some way up the line. You know what I'm saying? He's ventured over to the slap fighting. You know, somewhere up the line, him and CM Punk, who fought in the UFC, is supposed to have a slap fight. That's going to generate crazy money. You know why? Because CM Punk is a grand superstar over there in World Wrestling Entertainment. And then you have Jake Paul, who's over here just doing everything. MVB Promotions, freaking PFL. You know what I'm saying? Just his name is out there just getting crazy. So him and CM Punk, who the UFC attempted to give him a lifeline, and then they put him in there with Mickey Gall. You know what I'm saying? And then they put him in there. Look, hey, we're gonna give you another opportunity. That's the Punk. We ain't gonna give you too many. He went in there with Michael Jackson, and he lost that fight too. You know, he ventured off into the shadows again, and then came back into the ring over there at the WWE. But you know, just a long story short, It's wild. You know what I'm saying? This shit is wild, bro. This shit is wild, man. Showtime definitely got something planned. They got Jake Paul over there. It's only a matter of time before we see some changes with the Jake Paul brothers. Look, listen to me. I told y'all this way back in the day. I said they're going to make Jake Paul a world champion. They're gonna make Jake Paul a world champion. They're gonna link him up with somebody that's a ragu can, an empty ragu can, right? A tomato sauce, and they're gonna make that title. They're gonna have him fight for a secondary, whether it's a intercontinental, a silver. They're gonna, according to what freaking sanctioned body, all right, and they're gonna have him fight for a title just to prep it. Have him fight for a title. Now that he's already known to the boxing world, and then potentially we may see him step in there with a big name like Canelo Alvarez. If Jake Paul if Jake Paul steps in there with a title, just anything to give him more Wall Street to his boxing portfolio, everything he has going on. If by chance he's able to step in there and fight somebody like Canelo Alvarez is on the backside of his career at the time, I'm talking about when he get there, that's gonna make crazy amount of money. Crazy amount of money. But they're gonna give him a world title in boxing. It's gonna be a legitimate world title, y'all. And look, it's gonna be just as big as when you first saw KSI and Logan Paul fight. His brother Jake Paul was fighting another YouTube personality called Gibb. Now Jake Paul is pretty much bigger in boxing than his brother Logan. His brother Logan hadn't won a fight in boxing. His fight against Floyd Mayweather was an exhibition. The one that was sanctioned was against KSI. It's facts, man. But yet they look at my views and they don't know. They're saying, he don't know what he's talking about. I told you, stop paying attention to people's subscribers and views and pay attention to the knowledge that they have. And that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. But good point there, L Dog. I don't think Showtime is done because there's plenty of ways that they can make money. These guys that's at the top, right? Listen, it all depends on what meetings and what conversations, what sidebars they're having in these boardrooms to bring in new entertainment value. Showtime has to come up with a plan. I'm not there. I'm really not stressing out over what they got planned for the future. I'm just trying to put together and prognosticate how it may go down. You know what I'm saying? That's outside my scope. But if I can kind of figure out how it can go down for them to make more money, for them to save Showtime so it won't evaporate like HBO, because I keep hearing that people are trying to bring back HBO into boxing. You know what I'm saying? And Showtime is just going to be for the movie and all that. Showtime's going to leave boxing. But you really don't know, man. It's so much rumor mill out here. You really don't know what's popping. You really don't know what's concrete and what's freaking pothole water. Dana was trying to give Floyd and Conor pennies for that fight. If he would have promoted it, damn shame. It's no way that Dana White at the time could have promoted that fight. And though the UFC is big, there, Pop, it's no way that they could have put on a fight of that magnitude and basically catered to the boxing arena. Listen, people know Conor McGregor in mixed martial arts at that time. He was a two-weight champion. But his fan base was not larger than Floyd Mayweather. And you got to think about where they had to fight. Floyd Mayweather is a Vegas resident. So you take somebody that's a Vegas resident and have that fight in Vegas and bring over this guy called Conor McGregor, right? And do mad press now. And it gets wild. It gets disrespectful, reckless. They allowed Conor McGregor to get himself noticed by Floyd Mayweather's fans by doing some shit ain't nobody gonna do. Like he was patting Floyd on the head. He was going through Floyd's bag. You know, Floyd did anything and everything to sell that freaking fight. If it meant himself not physically, doing something at the time, but being the butt of the joke, so to speak. He allowed Conor McGregor to walk around and, show his rambunctious side, pat him on the head, act like he was going through his personal belongings, his money, and talk shit about the Mayweathers and to my F the Mayweathers, F the Mayweathers. Floyd did everything he needed to sell that fucking fight, and it did well. It did extremely well. Because how can one of the top pay-per-views ever in boxing have an opponent up there that was 0-0? It was 0-0 now. 0-0. So now that really hasn't been duplicated after that. There's some people up there that want it, but they're not a big name like Conor. What Conor was able to do with the two weight classes, the featherweight, you know what I'm saying? Crazy. He became featherweight world champion, went up all the way, for 45 to 170, and then fought twice, fighting Nate Diaz twice, did a 1-1 and dropped back down to 155 and knocked out Eddie Alvarez. Legendary. I don't know who can do that. Francis Ngannou can't do that. They trying to put Ngannou in there with Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. It's not going to happen with Tyson Fury. Two black men in there, big, tall, both was freaking, champions. Maybe that. I'm pretty sure Deontay can get the hype up. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Tyson Fury is going to do it, though. He's just too much for Ngannou. He's too smart, too clever. You need to leave some space in there, you know what I'm saying? That people can be like, I think he can beat Deontay. Just like they were saying about Conor. I think Conor can beat Floyd. Shout out to Toby. Bartlett in the building. You already know. Shout out to Cross the Pond, man. Salute to you in the building. Pop WWE bag is something different. Brock getting crazy money for not a lot of dates. Yeah, man. Brock Lesnar's a household name over there, though. Brock Lesnar came over to the UFC and got paid. The Wall Street that he had, the stock value that he had over there as a WWE wrestler, a champion, he carried that over. They allowed him to carry that forward over to the UFC, get paid crazy money over there. He wasn't even a champion, none of that. Gave him some opponents. Even when Frank Mir subbed him out with a leg lock, a knee bar, right? Subbed him out. They allowed him to come back, rematch Frank Mir. He got paid crazy. They even allowed him to go in there with Alistair Overeem and take that knee to the body. That's after he had a stomach condition and he was out for a minute. They still allowed Brock Lesnar to come over there and fight. And he ended up getting beat again. But he made some crazy money before he went back over to the WWE. Crazy, bro. Fighters really need to think about that. That's on both sides. That's why, I just read some of the stuff and listen to some of these cats. And they just really not on board with trying to expand anything. Like no type of deals, no nothing. They just worried about, whoever just come over here and listen to them talk about the same person all day. These guys out here making millions, man. You got to make some phone calls. Logan and KSA are business partners and friends. Absolutely. Yeah. They are the ones that's in charge of the Prime sports drink, the hydration sports drink. Absolutely. Hey, Blunts, I ain't see him in the chat. Thanks for the info, bro. Thanks for the info. Thanks for the info. Shout out to Big Blunts Unboxing. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. Appreciate dropping them gems, man. You know, that info that you drop. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier there, Toby. I was telling people that about 5 or 6 years, MVP promotion based off the Paul name alone is going to be pretty big when it comes down to it. It's going to be a pretty large, respectable entity in the sport of boxing. Like a lot of people can be promoters, but you just can't be a promoter. Just because you say you get your no, that's they faking. You just can't be a promoter now. People get it twisted with fighters having their own promotion company. These fighters are co-promoting with the promotion that is their umbrella. They're not putting on these fights themselves. They have to come out the pocket. According to where it's at, they have to come up with a bond. Like they have to come out with money that's required of a promoter that depends on what region you is. You just can't say, oh, well, is 1-2 promotions. Even on the regional level, these promoters have to come up with the money. They have to get insurance. They have to goddamn pay these fees. They have to get insurance on the venue, the fighter. They have to do a lot of stuff, bro. You just can't say, well, these fighters, they're promoting themselves. They're not. They're just a name. That's just for business. That's just for freaking tax. That's just for a whole lot of other things. But unless you see their promotion solo dolo, they're not independently picking up the tab like that. They're not independently picking up the tab, bro. Told Floyd he couldn't read. Hey, this is what I always said about that. You say he can't read. I say he can count. Which one does he need the most? You know what I'm saying? If he can count, kudos to him because he's making a lot of money. So if he can't read, he damn sure can count. He damn sure can count. I just don't want that brother to be in a position where he start to, suffer damage because he been on record as saying it's hereditary, what's going on in his family with Roger, his dad, and all that. So I don't know if he continue to, stay in the ring because he just don't want to get out of there and be inactive. But if he chooses never to call it quits, like he's in his 40s, if Floyd is still doing exhibition bouts when he turned 50 plus years old, I don't know, man. I don't know why. Maybe some other things are going on that he need to keep on putting that money up. But I ain't mad at nothing Floyd got going on because he has worked himself up to that point for his name to be the way it is, to make the type of money, to get the type of exposure. I'm not mad at that dude going over there getting exhibitions. Everybody can't do what he's doing. Shout out to Lost Art of Boxing, the LAB in the building. What's good, family? On deck. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? I hear you. What's going on, Q? I mean, that's what it's about to me. These fighters out here not only making a name for themselves, but stamping their footprint. Like they signing lucrative business deals, dog. This shit is insane, man. I'm not gonna lie. What I'm seeing going around, especially in mixed martial arts, on how they're continuing on trying to grow the brand. I mean, you have Frank Mir's daughter, who would be the first to be a UFC fighter with her name likeness. So I forgot the entire it's like name. If you know what it is, put it in the chat. I forgot. But she's gonna be able to maintain. She's a wrestler, very good wrestler. Her dad is Frank Mir, former UFC heavyweight champion. One of the most intelligent practitioners, combat specialists you would meet, right? I'm glad I had the opportunity to interview him and talk to him down in Atlanta when he was down here with Triller. But his daughter is a very well-known wrestler, and she is the first that would be able to sign with the UFC, I believe, and hold her name likeness. So that means she'll be able to make money with her name, her likeness, and everything else outside of the UFC, which we all know the UFC, man, you're not having no extra sponsors. You get a set pay from Venom. It used to be Reebok, but now it's Venom. And you get your whatever you get from the UFC. So depending on what formula and scale that they run off of for the fighters, you get a small little stipend from that, and then you get your paycheck. And then they have the bonuses in between that. Knockout of the night, fight of the night, and everything else like that. Exactly the same. WCS Floyd made his name what it is and still bigger than nearly every fighter out there now. If he can still earn money off it, then good for him. I agree. If you can still earn money at an older age where majority of your compeers are considered to be over their prime, what's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Make your money. That's why we run into these conflicts on here where, these guys are pocket watching. You know what I'm saying? Where they want to tell a fighter what they should and shouldn't make. A fighter, you have fighters, boxers, you hear Bruce Gass out here having these vets on here. And they're up here trying to advocate for a union. They trying to advocate for the older fighters to have these little um micro programs that they want to start up to try to get them some type of funding, something. They're trying. They're trying to dig and so they can lay the foundation for something bigger in the future. But a lot of these fighters don't have any type of worthiness to their name. Like when they was in the ring, they was in the ring. But you hear they saying Maurice Blocker was living out of a car. You know what I'm saying? You done heard so many fighters, man, just having a rough time because they don't have anything. So when I hear these guys up here talking about what a fighter shouldn't get, what he doesn't rate, and all this other stuff, it's slanderous. That's all. It's absurd to think that these people who come on live and they don't even have pictures on their wall. You know what I'm saying? Some of these cats don't even have pictures on their wall, dog. You don't even have pictures on your wall. Stop it. Come on, bro. I agree with you, Toby. Like, Floyd Mayweather is still one of the biggest names in boxing, and he's out. That sparring match he had, recently, he looked sharp. Now, old boy didn't have no head movement, but I was like, damn, Floyd, goddamn, puppetizing this dude, popping his head back, landing combinations on him. God damn, dude, still look like he ready to go, man. And Floyd is so in control of the value that he has. That it is the most expensive diamond in boxing. You know what I'm saying, Toby? Like that motherfucking O on his record. You cannot take that O away, even if he loses in an exhibition where nobody can lose. You know what I'm saying? Even if the fans thought, oh man, Floyd lost that fight. It don't matter. Nobody's winning the exhibition. So Floyd's O is making him so much money. That O on his record is making him so much money, man. That's real talk. That O is making him crazy amount of money. So we'll see how that plays out in the upcoming months. I just want to, kind of, give them some flowers a little bit, even though they already have it. Their garden is already producing food for life. You know what I'm saying? The garden is already producing so much, wealth. I mean, they have done an amazing job. Their parents, and then to see these dudes come out here and be YouTube stars, and now they venturing into the real shit. I ain't saying YouTube wasn't real, but they venturing into some real. I'm talking about real global type business entrepreneurship. It's just wow, extremely wild, man. I'm gonna transition off them. I want to, my initial live is gonna be something different, but I decided to wait. I decided to wait. To cook in some hot grease. I'm gonna wait for another day. I just wanted to come over here and just listen a little bit longer and not really play into the same costume type reaction. I'm gonna let it ride a little bit. Let it cook a little bit more before I speak on it. But I wanted to know y'all thoughts on Keyshawn Davis and now Floyd Schofield, because the Schofields was he just had a fight where he was getting touched up periodically, just like his opponent was too. But him and his dad has been making rounds on YouTube. I don't blame him. Getting as much exposure. At least they're giving the time and the opportunity for a channel to speak to his son. They could very well be off in the distance and just keep him separate from this community. But they've been making their rounds from channel to channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at him for getting that free publicity out there. But he I guess with the hype that was behind him and everything and the way they was talking, they expect him to perform a bit better. So now Keyshawn and Schofield's just going at it, which a lot of us, where they at in their careers right now, a lot of us would like to see that fight. It's just all about if the powers to be will allow the fight to happen. I would like to see Keyshawn and Schofield go at it. If you take his last performance and you take Keyshawn's last performance, people are gonna say, okay, we'll go with Keyshawn all day. And also you got to put that big O Olympian into the equation also. Because Top Rank, is gassing Keyshawn Davis with fights. You know what I'm saying? They keeping him active in the ring. And right now, if you ask anybody, say, hey, who do you got? Who, if Schofield and Davis was supposed to fight, who do you got? People are going to look at Keyshawn as having the more inviting type, styles, just off his performances in the ring. They feel that he's been there long enough. This is a person who's released from the Olympic training facility, came over here, picked up some professional wins. Then they brought him back. He didn't get it done. You know what I'm saying? He ended up picking up the silver medal, which that's a silver champion. Silver medalist, a silver champion. It's not bad, right? And now, he hasn't looked back. So I'm curious to see how this plays out with them two potentially facing each other in the future, man. I know they still in the beginning stages of their career, but I think it'll be an exciting fight. I'm not gonna lie, I think it'll be an exciting fight, man. Seriously. And the other topic is David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. I don't know if you know, but they're having a press conference this Thursday. And once again, WCS is up here having a moment. And I'm just contemplating. I'm like, they're having a press conference and they fight's not to March. So I'm assuming that over there they have money for certain things, because you would think this is the type of attention that Crawford and Spence should have been getting. David Benavidez and Caleb Plant is having a press conference. And their fight is not until March. So they're doing a press tour right now to sell this fight, bro. And I was scratching my head. I was like, damn, Why couldn't we just get a little bit, just a little bit? I'm talking about LILBIT, a little bit of this attention for a fight that's much bigger than Plant Benavidez. And I said to myself, it's no reason that you should even, question yourself like that. Try to come up with these answers that seem so freaking easy. But when it comes down to boxing, it's a business. Unfortunately for business, you have individuals that are smart enough to elude the Ali Act so they can stay out of court, but yet and still they're making decisions that are in violation of the Ali Act. I'm just being honest. Bernard Hopkins recently was on record, something I put out here about the 33 and the third, right? I put it out here before, that Bernard Hopkins was saying that over there at PBC is not the way it used to be. You're not getting 12 round money for a 4-round fight anymore. You really have to fight. Then he said that he was the one, and I remember this growing up too. I remember when I really didn't know B-Hop that well. He said I was the one that was speaking on the panel, talking about this Ali Act and everything. And he said that Al Hammond, found a way, which this ain't the first time it's been mentioned, but they say he found a way to avoid him being legally responsible, to set himself up to be sued by being in every position that potentially may violate or fall within the parameters of the Ali Act. So what he was saying, that's why he's an advisor. They say Al Hammond is an advisor. So pretty much he gets a percentage, like I said, of each fighter that's in-house. Al Hammond is your advisor, right? 2 fights, in-house fight. He's going to get his percentage regardless. And just think, if you leave, he say, okay, you can leave, but your contract doesn't end to this. So you go over here to Top Rank. Let's go say you go anyway. You fight. Al Hammond gets a 33 and a third. He gets a 33 and a third of your check, and you're not even fighting for him no more. You kind of sort of is via paperwork, but really you're not there. But yet contractually, you're locked in for him to still get a 33 and a third. And also, we must not forget that Adrian Broner was on live chilling, talking about, oh man, it's bad over there. We're going to end up fighting on Twitter, right? So you have to ask yourself, why did Deontay Wilder just come out and say somewhat similar information involving the same promotion? Well, the same roundabout. People think PBC a promotion. PBC isn't a promotion. You know what I'm saying? PBC is an LLC. So it really is very interesting when you dig through all the rubble. Is it just a minor fracture with all this is going on? Will it repair itself over time? Is there anything they can do to repair itself so they can be a much better future over there? Or it's going to continue to crumble? All I can say is David Benavidez and Caleb Plant, they're doing a press tour, and they fight's not the March 25th, y'all. This is somewhat what we was thinking that'll happen with either Errol Spence or Keith Thurman. Later on down the line, if they fight in April, May, we should see a press tour. Allow them to talk what they talk. Then, of course, the obvious, we thought the fight would be signed with Spencer Crawford and have at least about two press tours, one on the East, one on the West, and, keep it moving to fight date. They're very intriguing. Kid Austin versus Keyshawn is 2 years down the road. I mean, I agree with that. I'm just saying they talking a lot online right now. You know what I'm saying? They're talking a lot online. Their garden is already producing flowers for generational wealth. That's facts. That's facts, man. Schofield showed his feet after his last fight. They were messed up for real. He had some crazy blisters on the bottom of his feet. Hey, that just goes to show you. It just goes to show you that's something that I didn't even know. And then once again, a boxer that went in there and didn't quit. But I'm saying this there Andrew. He was running on the treadmill earlier that day. That's a routine they have. So when did you get the blisters? You wake up on fight day and and you go running. Did you have the blisters or did you get the blisters? Because if you got the blisters working out ahead of your fight, that's crazy, man. Shout out to Coach Malachi on deck. True Media Today, USA Boxing in the building. Peace to the family. Hit the like button for WCS. Appreciate you, Coach. And y'all definitely, you already know, y'all definitely check Coach channel out, man. He's on fire right now, man. Make sure you bring your gas mask. Make sure you bring goddamn your gear, a fire truck. You know what I'm saying? He's doing big things over there. Shout out to Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Salute to you. The OG in the building. He said the shoes were new and a little tight. His mistake for not breaking them in. I thought it was something because I saw him running on the treadmill now. You know what I'm saying? He's running on the treadmill. That's their routine, to get him warmed up. So it's not like that's the first time they did it. They was used to the routine. But now that he's saying he had new shoes, that's crazy, man. Because you know how them blisters come on. Them blisters like a paper cut sometimes. Them motherfuckers would not go away, dog. You're like, shit, man, why my feet hurting like this? Them motherfuckers stinging. And sweat and blisters don't mix. Especially you have to move around. Shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. It's the schedule is out there, man. They doing a press conference. That's gonna be lit. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's gonna be lit. I think that press conference potentially may give us a little bit of that Tony Harris and Jamel Charlo energy. You know what I'm saying? That venom, that smoke that we see. You know what I'm saying? I think they may fog the room up. I mean, these guys truly, truly, deep down inside, do not like one another, bro. They don't like one another. They truly do not like one another. But they're going to have a press conference on the West Coast in LA. And it's surprising. And the reason why it's surprising to me is that it's been so much little word passed around that PBC isn't doing that well, but yet they giving Benavidez and Plant a preamble, a press tour preamble, and they don't even fight till March. I know we on the last day of January, but they don't fight to damn near just under two solid months, bro. But kudos to them, man, for building up the fight. You know what I'm saying? Make your money, do what you got to do, sell the fight, make it worthwhile. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna be tuned in when the fight happens. They might just come out and charge us like mid-80s. Have they came out with the pay-per-view prices yet, y'all? Have they came out with the pay-per-view prices? I might have seen it up there. Is it still going to be under 80? Or are they going to put it mid-80s? Let me see, can I find this out? Caleb Plant. I don't see it. I'm just curious if they're going to put it in the mid-80s for this fight. They should. They should put it back in the mid 80s, man, to get people a little bit more monetarily acclimated, to going in their pocket. You have to pull that little piece of plastic out, and that shit's gonna be lighter than what it was when you had it in your pocket. To get them prepared forever if this big fight gets made down the line. So they wouldn't be mad if it's like in the $90 range. We have to get them prepped. That's essential. Get them prepped. I don't see it out here, so I don't think the ticket has came out on what they're gonna. The tickets, yeah, but I'm looking for the pay-per-view. What the pay-per-view price is gonna be for Benavidez Plant. Well, people, appreciate you pulling up as always, man. Big shout out to everyone that was in the building. Those of you that came in at the end, everybody hit the like button on your way out, man. I just want to come over here and talk about this this level change, man. They continue to do big things. At the end of the day, man, only thing we're gonna do is sit back and watch the news, man. They all over the place, especially seeing what Jake Paul's about to do. Continue to grow in boxing, and with his growth, I'm telling y'all, I don't think he's gonna fight Tommy Fury again. I think something crazy is gonna happen that people are gonna look at it like, oh, okay, we didn't care about that fight anyway, and then they're gonna bring in Platinum Mike Perry. Okay, remember, I put it out there. But yeah, until next time, man, y'all hold it down. Salute, turn up, and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.